You know, I was mentioned earlier that my father was the NYPD lieutenant for 26 years. When I was a little kid, my dad had to qualify maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So one time he took me to the gun range, and he brought the target close to him. He was using a revolver at the time. So I remember I was watching him shooting. I was always fascinated because he always radiated confidence, leadership. So he shot the target. I think it's about 5 or 4 shots. Then he brought the target close to us. And when you look at it, there were 2 holes in the head and 2 holes in the chest. He said, "You ever misbehave, the same will happen to you." That's why I became a police officer. And you know, for the last 10 years, I've been involved being a deputy sheriff for the Los Angeles Sheriff Department and Seattle with the Bispo. I do a lot of search and rescue, and also boat patrol. But I see what's happening, that we have so many problems, especially now with law enforcement dealing with the homeland security, because there's so many emphasis today had to do with drugs, sex, and violence, because the young kids today, you know, playing the video game, being bullied, and resorting to drugs because they have a hard time to express and communicate. That's why the beautiful example about the department today, which you have is called earning the public trust, community policing. That would make a great city, especially talk about everything, because we cannot do it without you people. We need your trust. We're the first responders, and it's important to have that communication. If you have any problem, please don't hesitate. Communicate with the police department, because they are not trained just as leaders. Also, they at background, we're trained as also CPR. We're trained with leadership. We're teaching how to deal with anger, assault, especially bullying, because my whole life I was bullied. And it's funny, I do a lot of issue with bullying, because bullying sometimes has nothing to do with the victim, it has to do with the bully himself, because he's the one that has the issue. And also, it's important because it can also lead to serious accidents, like it could be like death, rape, anger. And that's why this community here, I understand they're doing a great job, especially dealing with bullying and the bystander, because my life as a kid being bullied, that's why I became who I am today, because as a young child, I had difficulty speaking. I had difficulty communicating, because children do not have the psychological defenses to defend themselves. So in my situation, I would keep everything inside of me, refrain from everything. So I released my anger from working out, bodybuilding, weight training. That became now a huge part of our society. So I learned to express my anger through weight training. Now, if I had the knowledge I had today, like you people had today, I would have dealt with the bullying situation much earlier. I got beaten up a lot. And in those days, if I came home and told my father I had a beating, he would give me another beating, because he said, you need to defend yourself. So I grew up in a tough neighborhood. But I've learned over the course of the years, it's all about that open communication. Don't be afraid to speak. Like you parents here, if you have children that are being bullied, please have an intervention, have a meeting, talk about the situation about the bullying, because it's not just children. It could be school teachers, it could be any kind of adult. And I must say that I'm really, really excited to be here, because I know this is Canada, it's a Steel City, and I want to wish you all the luck. Thank you so much for coming.